A live stream series here on the Zombie Orpheus Tanner Entertainment channel on Twitch. Brought to you in partnership with Pinnacle Entertainment Group, the makers of the Savage Worlds game system. I'm your host and GM, James Durham. And The Reliables happens to be an interactive Savage Worlds RPG show where you, our audience, get to actually interact, change, and alter the story as it's going real time. You get to do things if you want to, and if you want to support this show. And I'll tell you how you can do it. You can do it through this wonderful mechanic we have called a store. And Christian Doyle is going to tell us all about this store. Christian?
Yes. Hey, it's me, Christian Doyle. How you doing, everybody? So I'm here today to tell you about the store. First thing you need to know about the Reliables is that we are using our own hack on the Savage World system using our metaverse rules from Masters of the Metaverse. So one of the things that we're doing is that we have two character sheets, and we can switch how much of in one character and the other we are. And the way that we switch through those is by using our bennies. Bennies, of course, are something that we can use in Savage Worlds for just about anything, but it's also the main way that we switch between our avatar and our pilot personalities. It basically gets us to change hats and voices real quick. So bennies are going to be very important to what we're doing today. For $5, you can give a shout out to give us some advice or just say mean things to my character. Whatever you really want to do, you can do that with this $5. The computer will say whatever snarky thing you wrote, and it'll be delightful for everyone. For $15, you can also treat the GM to a Benny so he can make his bad guys tougher and us less likely to live. He has a couple of those right now in the store. You probably don't want to give those to him. For another $15, you can put that Benny on any character you want and shift them in any direction you want. That's a power we call personality disorder. That basically just makes it so we have to kind of switch what we're doing at the time. It's very jarring to any character, and we thrive on it here on the Reliables. Win, lose, or draw, as we draw cards for initiative in the Savage World system, it will allow us to draw an extra card and take the best of each choice. It's a handy way for us to move up in the initiative order and not that expensive. System Shock. Oh, boy, we still have one of those in the store, and that's always fun. How that works is James randomly rolls and decides where on that avatar pilot slider that we are suddenly and jarringly, and if we don't have any bennies to get us out of that situation, we are stuck there until he says otherwise. For $50, we will dance for you. We'll just do it. We'll dance. Leo in the studio will play a song, and we will just dance our little butts off for you. That's how it works. Same price, though. You can get one of our characters to tell a story from their past, whether that character be the pilot or the avatar. They will have to share a small story from their past, completely off the cuff, with no preparation time. So our backstories are basically at your whim. That's true. I'm sure none of us are disappointed in the ones we've had to do already. A reliable source for the same price as that. Our characters will break the fourth wall in a confessional-like situation as though we were on a reality show and we are commenting on the situation that is happening to our characters at that very moment, just stepping out of time to face our imminent deaths. It's a great, great time. Rule of Cool, one of our most powerful abilities, an ability that is almost guaranteed to end any fight. The Rule of Cool means that each of us as characters pick what we are going to do for the round, and we come up with our absolute best case scenario of what our characters are capable of in this situation and what we could do on our very best day. Physics be damned. For that, we'll all decide what we're going to do. You, the chat room, votes on whatever that is, and the winner automatically succeeds with the raise, whereas all the losers have to attempt the crazy thing they just said they were going to do at a huge negative. Sucks to be us. And, of course, for $250, you can get the Hack Attack. If you want to drop anything in the game at a moment's notice and throw everyone off, this is a surefire way to do that. It works like this. You say what you want to show up in the game, and it shows up. Whether it be a random flood that wipes out everybody, whether it be the death of the very dinosaurs, whether it be a transforming carriage robot that has a drinking problem and carries us around the countryside in 1776, this is your way to make that happen. And one of the reasons that The Reliables is the most interactive tabletop RPG on Twitch right now. And that is our store. Please enjoy the show.
Thank you so very much, Christian. And well, you guys did get to see Christian there. Why don't I actually formally introduce my cast members, who are all absolutely amazing, and you're going to love all of them. We have Bryce Bebop as the daring Vector Reigns, space hero, war veteran, and hollow vid star. Brash, cocky, daring, Vector believes that he, in fact, should be leading this team. And is he wrong? Christian Doyle plays Jonamox, serving out the remainder of their prison sentence paroled to the team. Jonamox is the last surviving member of a species of shape-altering beings. And there is, of course, much more to this dimensional thief than meets the eye. Elise Moore is Ranger Rhonda Rittenhauer, the last Space Ranger, protector of the innocent, instrument of justice, and best human shield. Rhonda's great strength is nearly a match for her tremendous heart. Helen Roundhill is Princess Hedgehog, the last remaining goblin from their dimension. Princess Hedgehog is a powerful practitioner of magic who greatly misses being the center of attention from all of their adoring fans. Together, they are the Reliables, traveling through time and dimensions to make the universe a better place, one mistake at a time. Now, before we get started, let's talk about the game system that we use on this show. Savage Worlds. The better a character or creature is at a skill or attribute, the higher the die used in conjunction with that attribute or skill. Success for many basic tasks requires a roll of 4 or better, with those rolls that exceed the target number by 4 or more called raises. In addition, almost every die roll in Savage Worlds can ace. This is when the die roll is the highest possible number. When this occurs, you get to roll the die again and add it together, potentially triggering another ace. Initiative in Savage Worlds, or determining who goes within a given turn and when, is determined by drawing the highest cards in the deck. Everyone gets a card from the deck of cards, and whoever has the highest one gets to act first. Now, if you happen to get the Joker, not only can you take their turn at any time, including interrupting an action in progress, you get +2 to every die roll that you're making for an attribute or skill that turn. Let's see, Savage Worlds is fast, furious, and fun, just like the creators intended it to be, and I hope you enjoy the show and the game system. As Christian talked about before, we are using avatars in this particular episode. And avatars are beings of great significance who share a body with the mind and soul of a pilot. In this case, our heroes, the Reliables. While within the avatar, the two personalities both exist, and control often changes. This is indicated by a slider that you see at the bottom of the screen. You see it down there right now? Yep, that slider tells you who is in the driver's seat. You have avatar for when the avatar is in the driver's seat, pilot for when the pilot is in the driver's seat, and you've got that spot in the middle when they're nice and mixed together. Where a character is on that slider determines which character sheet they can use for their attribute rolls and their skill rolls, and what special abilities they can use. They can use their bennies, as Christian explained, to move themselves on the slider. You can also use personality disorder to move them on that slider. And then, of course, there is my personal favorite, the system shock, where we just randomly determine where they end up on that slider. And speaking of avatars, let's take a moment and refamiliarize everyone with the avatars that are on the show today. For Vector Reigns, we have Robert Franklin Smith, the Bull of Boston. Superhumanly strong and durable, Robert is capable of boosting these traits even further with focused effort. For Jonamox, there is Jean-Pierre Dubois, the French spy and saboteur. Jean-Pierre is capable of creating exact duplicates of himself, able to act, think, and operate independently or as part of an organized plan. Ranger Rhonda Rittenhauer has Prudence Cafferty, the Appalachian animal, survivalist, hunter, sharpshooter, scout, and able to heal the most terrible of injuries in mere moments. Prudence might lack civilized skills, but she makes up for it with grit and determination. For Princess Hedgehog, we have Margaret May, the Emerald Flame, activist, freedom fighter, and able to create and control fire through sheer force of will. Margaret's fortitude is also legendary, and she can keep fighting when others would collapse from the same injuries. These avatars are all part of the
At
Legion
some point,
of
I'd like
Liberty.
to hear about the hashtag memory of John Amok's last arrest, the one that landed him in deep enough soup he joined the team. Also, James' Twitter poll.
Oh, thank you.
Like, oh yeah, the Twitter poll. I totally forgot the Twitter poll. That's on me.
That's
guys.
okay.
That's not James.
I'll get to that in just a second. It's okay. All these avatars are part of the Legion of Liberty, a loose-knit group of superpowered beings dedicated to opposing British tyranny and liberating the colonies. It's also part of this great setting called Legion of Liberty. It's the setting we're using for this particular set of 3 episodes for our finale. And speaking of Savage World settings, there is a Twitter poll that is going to end in less than an hour right now. Less than an hour. You, the fans, get to vote on which setting you want to show up next season. There are 3 choices there, and you get to pick. One of those is going to come about in next season. And not only is it going to make an appearance, we're going to spend multiple episodes there, and there will be avatars there. That's right. A full deep dive visit where we get to actually explore that setting. And at the end of today's episode, I'm going to announce the combined results between the Discord poll and the Twitter poll, and we're going to find out what's showing up next season. I don't even know what I'm going to have to write next season.
I've got a quick out of character question before we really get into the meat of it.
Sure.
Because I haven't had a chance to talk to these guys since last week. I'm wondering have you guys voted? The rest of the cast, what did you pick? And I want to know, just real quick.
I did.
So did I.
Yeah.
I did too.
So what did you pick and why? I want to know.
I didn't pick yet. I didn't know we were allowed to vote. I thought it was you're not allowed to vote for yourself kind of a thing. I'm a huge vintage 1930s fan. So I'm going with the noir. That's right in my wheelhouse. So I selfishly just want to
I did too.
So did I.
I did too.
No, so those 3 all voted for Deadlands Noir, which is I like all of these settings, but
I know
they're all so cool.
It was really tough. But yeah,
the problem is we have all the Savage World IPs to play with, and they're all so good. So
I personally voted for East Texas University because it's ludicrous and
it's a great setting.
Me too, James.
I think it's fantastic. So yeah,
not alone.
I feel like it was a tough. The Flash Gordon though was wait, seriously? We seriously get to do not suggestive Flash Gordon, but straight up the rights to Flash Gordon. And so that is also very, very tempting because that is a world of absolute just bananas. So
yes, it is. In fact, there are a lot of Savage World settings, and speaking of that, this is not the last time we're going to run a poll like this. That's right. Every season, we're going to run a poll, and you're going to get to pick one of the settings that comes up in the next season. Now, of course, there'll be other settings that have already been pre-selected that are going to show up. But part of one of the things that we are showcasing on the Reliables is all of the amazing settings and IPs that Pinnacle Entertainment Group has access to. And every time we get to do one of these runs with the avatars, we're going to explore one of these settings. And we have some exciting ones already lined up for next season. And then you guys, of course, get the opportunity to pick one of those as well. And I'll be announcing those results at the end of the episode. But we got to get to the end of the episode, and hopefully the characters survive to get to the end of the episode, or next season will be really weird.
Yeah, I'm going to miss you guys. Come on, we all know if somebody dies, it's probably going to be me.
There's a lot of crit fails around.
I'm gonna botch a soak roll or something. It's gonna be bad.
as was pointed out in the chat, if you don't have a Twitter account or you don't like to do Twitter, that's totally okay. You can go to the Zoe Discord, the Fantasy Network Discord, and you can vote in the Reliables fan room. This also has a poll available in there, and those numbers are going to be added into the final results I get from Twitter. I'm trying to keep track of them. It's going to be a lovely, awkward moment when I have to do math at the end of the episode and let you know who won. But hey, let's get back to the show. Previously on our show, our heroes rescued General Washington, uncovering a wicked plot in the process. Their true enemies, the Galvanic Collective, have been secretly working to prolong the war in order to conceal efforts to drain the planet's core. If successful, it would mean the destruction of this entire planet, and in the process, perhaps this entire dimension. Warning that their foes have plans to attack the Continental Congress in Philadelphia, our heroes set out to stop the plot, briefly detouring to New York to break a British siege of the city. But now time is growing short. Will they be able to prevent the death or capture of the fledgling Congress at the hands of the Galvanic Collective? Let's find out. Reese is racing along towards Philadelphia with all of you aboard as passengers at breakneck speed. He has been doing a lot of swerving since you left New York, as while you were busy defending the last few gun emplacements. He was busy raiding the soldiers' beer stash.
No Reese.
The son of a bitch.
Right, so we've gone from one place to another. Where are we off to now? We're on our way to
Philadelphia.
Sorry,
City of brotherly love.
Philadelphia. Yeah.
We're going
Yes.
to we're going to save the colonies.
Oh well, thank goodness for that then.
All of the important colonists are getting together in one building, and we'll, I'm sure nothing bad will come from it.
I'm just trying to save my lunch at this point.
There's plenty of squirrels
Nope.
out there. You can get another one.
No, it's coming up.
I'm beginning to find the entire affair rather comforting.
It's a nice bouncy ride.
Rule of cool for a season finale? Gotta give the team a fighting chance. Hashtag cool rule. Rule of cool for a season finale? Gotta give the team a fighting chance. Hashtag cool rule.
Thank you so much, Chad.
Thanks, Chad.
Thank you.
I was hoping it would repeat and then repeat again, and then let's keep going.
It's like, man, it's a lot of cool rules.
That might very well come in handy.
When has
And
a
yes, as
cool
pointed
rule
out in
ever
chat,
come in?
when we hit 250 in the store, a dance party is automatically triggered. We will have to dance for your amusement. And when we hit 500 in the store, that's the waffle giveaway. That's right. That's one person among all of you in chat who's been active. Will be randomly selected. You get to pick a topic or a genre and topic, and we are going to have to come up with some sort of little song at a later date and do it for you live on the show. I believe we have one of those in the waiting that you'll probably be seeing in season 2. And today, if you guys decided to support the show enough, or you're interested enough, or you just feel like being generous, you might get another one.
Nice.
Sweet.
And yes, you were racing along the roadway, swerving all over the place. As Reese is heavily intoxicated at this time. And has not stopped humming, whistling, and singing to himself the entire ride. Ooh, there was something there, I thought.
Robots, am I right?
Robots. And as you reach the outskirts of Philadelphia, you can hear the sounds of gunfire near the Delaware.
Oh,
Right?
that's
I didn't-
probably nothing, right?
Out of the fat and into the fire. Goodness me.
Are we?
We just got done with the fight.
How close are we to our destination?
Oh, less than a mile at this point, so that you can definitely hear the distinct sound of rifle fire being exchanged.
All right. Yeah, let's just keep going. We'll get there.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be long with as fast as this thing goes.
No, Reese is going really fast, swerving in between buildings and around individuals and people who stare in amazement at the speed that this stagecoach is traveling at.
Can I?
And the holographic horses just running along, seeming to propel this stagecoach at inhuman speeds.
Can I boost my vigor while we're going? If I hear the gunfire, I don't want to be caught out again.
You don't want to be shot through the stagecoach.
Exactly.
That's not a terrible idea. Why don't you give me one of your power usage rolls for that? What do you have for boost?
That's a D10.
All right, if we can get a D10 and a D6 roll to try and boost the vigor of Robert Franklin Smith. Oh, that's 6 aces. Okay, that's
Robert Franklin Smith's strongest one there is.
Yep, that's a success with the raise. So for the remainder of time that power is in effect, your vigor counts as 2 die steps higher. That also correspondingly increases your toughness by 2 steps.
Get strong.
Yeah,
Indeed.
Kind of new human shield.
And as you reach the block that Independence Hall is on, you pass through an area. British soldiers seem to be setting up positions and a perimeter around the building a little over a block away. But they aren't the direct threat at the moment, and not even firing at the building. The building itself and those defending it are under attack by a combination of Hessians and British grenadiers. And it looks like those grenadiers are attempting to either set fire to or blow up Independence Hall, with all of those valuable and important people inside of it.
I'm sorry, did you mention fire?
I did. We're still, as you are nearing the conflict, every time you see one of these grenadiers or Hessian soldiers fall, a bolt of golden energy flies out from their body and up towards the atmosphere. Very strange thing to see indeed. The defenders are in a fighting retreat, doing their absolute best to keep the attackers from reaching the building, but they are hard pressed to do so and are clearly horribly outnumbered.
Reese.
Yeah.
Reese, we need to park on the other side of those grenadiers, but they are hostile, so full speed ahead.
Full speed ahead. Yeah. And racing along, the carriage plows into a line of soldiers, many of them scattering.
I'm so bracing myself.
Yeah, many of them scattering at the impact. We are going to have to go through, and everyone on board is going to need to give me an athletics roll, or you'll be tossed free of the carriage.
No.
So let's go ahead and start with Robert Franklin Smith. What's your athletics?
D12 plus 1.
All right, can I get a D12 and a D6 for Robert Franklin Smith, trying to hang on and stay aboard the stage? Oh, quite easily done. A success with the raise. You are barely even bumped as the carriage leaps more than 4 feet into the air, bouncing over the top of several corpses along the way. Let's find out what happens to Prudence Cafferty, though, our Appalachian animal. What do you have for athletics?
We are halfway between Rhonda and Prudence right now, so I'm going to roll for Rhonda's athletics, which is a D12, and take the...
Yeah.
Take that penalty. All right, a -1 penalty for being in the middle. Still enough for a raise with an A, much like Robert Franklin Smith. It's a bouncy ride. It's more unsettling for the stomach than for anything else. And what about Margaret May? What is your athletics?
Right. So my skills are definitely not really in the athletics so much as it is in the fire, but that's all right. It's a 6.
All right, a 6 and a 6 for Margaret May, trying to stay aboard our high-speed carriage. A 5 is a success. It's not as clean or as perfect as Prudence or Robert, but you still quite easily stay aboard. And Jean-Pierre?
Yes, for that.
We
What do you have for an athletics score?
only a 6.
All right, a 6 and a 6 again. A 4 is still a success right there at the wire. Just barely, the 4 of you managed to stay aboard this carriage
as I
people.
get bucked in the seat, I want a duplicate to like pop out of me as I hit the ceiling.
I see. Well, we're gonna need a Legion
D10.
roll from you. All right, D10 and a D6 for Legion from Jean-Pierre.
Come on, it would be funny. Bullshit.
Oh, 2s. That's not gonna be a success. But as you plow through,
and
things
not worth
get,
spending a penny on.
things get a little bit tricky, and we are going to go directly into some Savage Worlds initiative as you are now in the heat of combat. So I'm going to deal out some cards here, and we're going to see what happens. Oh, looks like we're going to have to give Jean-Pierre / Jonamox a different card down there as
something bigger.
You
Please.
can't have anything less than a 6, so it looks like you
You're
yourself
such a size queen.
get an ace.
I'm not denying that. I like some big.
So anyway, Jean-Pierre,
Moving right along.
you got yourself an ace. It looks like you're going to get the opportunity to go first. Reese has just plowed into one of the lines of attacking British Grenadiers and Hessian troops. They seem to be attacking Independence Hall from 3 distinct locations, each trying to draw off as many defenders as possible with the Hessians so that the Grenadiers can get through to plant explosive charges on the building.
All right.
If any one of these Grenadiers succeeds, it could mean the end of the Continental Congress.
All right, I'm going to have to split actions because I need to make another me.
All right, so that means the Legion rule is going to be at a -2. And that is a D10,
Correct.
a D10, and a D6 for the Legion roll. Your first action to try and split into a few of them. A -2, that aces. Oh my.
Mm-hmm.
And even with the -2, that's going to be a 12, which is a success with 2 raises. So that means you get 3 extra duplicates of yourself. There are now 4 Jean-Pierres in a very crowded Reese. It used to be spacious. Now with 4 Jean-Pierres, it is no longer spacious, as all of you are sitting next to a Jean-Pierre at this point.
This is very Cirque du Soleil because we're about to break out of here like a damn clown car. We all draw our swords and bust out and start like clearing a path.
All right, well, you all of you have split action, so all of them are still going to suffer that split action penalty, but each of the 4 will each take their own individual action.
Yes, and they're all taking fighting actions against the whoever is closest.
All right, what do you have for fighting, Jean-Pierre?
It's an excellent question. 10.
All right, so we're going to need a D10 and a D6. These are at -2s, and we're going to do it 4 separate times. The first one is not going to do
They're
so
all
well.
falling on their faces.
The second one, that's 6 aces on the second one. The 9 is still better, down to a 7. The third one. 5 and a negative 1.
Yeah, and then I am going to be making an athletics check to get on top of the carriage.
All right, what is your athletics?
It is a 6.
All right, so a D6 and a D6. These are at a -2, however, as you are
I didn't say it was going to look good, man.
He just wants up.
So that's not going to be a success on the athletics roll. Rather than getting on the roof, you kind of slide off of it and land amidst the crowd of horses and fighting individuals. Yes. But 2 of your duplicates were successful in their fighting attacks, so I'm going to need 2 different damage rolls. What kind of damage does Jean-Pierre do with the sword?
That, again, great question. It's his strength plus a D something. There it is, down here at weapons. Strength, which is D8 plus D4.
All right, if I can get a D8 and a D4. With a 9 for the first one, and give me the second one, another D8 and D4. And a 4, Jean-Pierre manages to down one of the attacking Hessian troops. But there are, of course, three Jean-Pierres among them fighting.
I'm hoping that they think it's a biblical plague because now it's raining frogs. Too much? Too much?
Too little.
Well, they're
Indeed.
French.
That's fair.
And that's going to take us to Robert Franklin Smith next. Well, Mr. Smith, what do you have in mind?
Well, what exactly were they breaking through the lines with?
Well, the Hessians are attacking in close combat as they seem to have used their rifles, and the reload time makes it not something that they tend to go for.
Okay.
Those not familiar, historically, the Hessians are in fact German troops who have been outsourced by the British and hired, and they're one of the reasons the colonists are a little bit mad as, outsourced mercenaries have been used to oppress them on their own land. They are, however, notoriously talented and disciplined troops.
Okay. Is there any cannons?
Not in the immediate vicinity. This seems to be distinctly close combat. In fact, now that you think about it, even where the British were forming lines a block away, not one cannon or mortar or large weapon at all personal weapons. An interesting thing. Perhaps if you had more tactical training, you might be able to draw some conclusions from that.
Interesting. Okay. Well, if they're all wanting close combat, I'm fine with having that fun. So I'm gonna grab a dude. I'm just gonna hop out of Reese. I'm gonna grab a dude.
I'm a dude.
Are you willing to let me grab you as a blunt weapon?
Sure, buddy.
Done. I
Gotta be good for something.
I grab one of
Laying
the.
on the ground.
Yeah, the one
If you have
of
a
them that hit the
voluntary-
ground.
If you have a voluntary target, it doesn't require an athletics roll to grapple them,
Nice.
so that won't be a multi-action if you're going to grab Jean-Pierre who is willing.
Okay, then I'm going to grab a Jean-Pierre who's willing, and
Teamwork.
I'm going to take 2 attacks. I'm just going to start crushing into dudes with a Jean-Pierre.
All right, Jean-Pierre used as a human club.
He's got a
It's gonna
sword
be 2
too,
fighting
so-
attacks.
Takes that.
So you're going to be at a -2 for making 2 attacks, but I'm going to need 2 fighting attacks. What do you have for fighting?
I've got a D12.
All right, a D12 and a D6. Swinging Jean-Pierre once. We have a 12, which aces, and a 6, which aces. Oh, man, this could go either way. Wow. It looks like the 6s ended up getting a higher result together than the 12s.
Well,
Which is definitely a hit with the raise on the first one, and then I'll need another D12 and D6 for the second one. That 6 also aces, getting some great rolls right out the start of the gates here.
Teamwork.
And that also is just enough to hit with a raise against the parry roll, or parry skill of these targets. So both of these are going to be raise damage attacks. Now, of course, this poor Jean-Pierre is also going to
He's
be
also
hurt.
taking all of that damage.
Jean-Pierre will be taking an equivalent amount of damage as he deals. And in this particular case, you're
Is
going
there
to be
any
looking
Jean-Pierre left?
at your strength will be the base. Jean-Pierre, as an improvised weapon, is a D8, and then the raise adds a D6.
I would
So
hope
what-
I'm
what-
at least at D8.
So what is that strength that you currently have?
Hey, you're
Franklin
dreaming.
Smith?
I've got a D12 plus 3.
So a D12, a D8, and a D6 plus 3. We're going to do that twice for damage. First one is going to be 17, which completely obliterates the toughness of this poor Hessian troop, shattering ribs, his collarbone, and fracturing his skull as he is catapulted across the battlefield. Of course, Jean-Pierre
Also mine. Also mine.
takes 17 damage.
And he screams. He screams. It hurts so bad.
Jean-Pierre!
Ah!
man! If I could get that damage roll one more time. With a D12, a D8, and a D6, adding 3 to it. The second one of those 12s aces. Oh, man. And then aces again.
No.
Oh,
You're the one
the
who said
second
you
hit,
were
you put
worthless.
so much force behind, and so much of his body has been broken by the initial swing that not only does this absolutely kill and crush the rib cage and spinal column of the Hessian soldier that you hit, but the blow is so fierce that it dislocates the legs and shatters the spinal column of this Jean-Pierre, killing him instantly.
Okay, so I want to drop
Which
this
also
Jean-Pierre.
consequently disarms you as the corpse disappears upon its death.
Can I just look at the Hessians and be like, who's next?
Wait, did one of them lose a head? Because I've got an idea about a horseman.
What's that movie where the guy gets ripped in half and the dude just like walks through where he was? That's what just happened.
Yeah. Even more terrifying as the Jean-Pierre that was used as a weapon upon his death instantly disappears. Leaving nothing but blood splatters behind.
It's pink mist.
As we used to say, a pink mist in a memory.
The worst pinata ever.
Ooh,
And
that
that's going to
Jean-Pierre will
take us
always be with
to...
us.
There are 3 Jean-Pierres just staring at you in horror right now. So you know. Like, they were all like, oh, me next, I will be your next weapon. Now they are not so
It only hurts for a minute, Johns.
He was thinking more like an Irish whip and less a French hammer.
That's the only time the French have been called a hammer.
That's going to take us to Prudence Cafferty / Ranger Rittenhauer, as she is in the middle. Both sides are equally in the driver's seat. What are we going to get from you here?
I think Prudence comes stumbling out of Reese, just stop, Ranger, and just tosses, doesn't get through speech.
And,
Just
I'm on the
very-
ground getting puked on now.
just full Ranger.
Great.
Oh. Okay, and then I'm gonna do a 2 action. I've got a throwing axe, and I'm just gonna huck my axe at the closest guy I've got any range towards, and then take out my pistol and take out somebody else.
Beautiful split actions. So let's start with the athletics roll for throwing the axe.
Athletics is going to be for D12 at a disadvantage.
All right, D12 -3 for the in the middle, and I should also get the D6 wild die in there too.
Please.
Oh, no.
Oh, not so hot. We got a -2 and a -1. You could spend a penny.
That would be a Benny, please.
All right, we're going to spend a penny. Re-roll that on that athletics roll. Only slightly better, a -1 and a 2. So that axe is just not going to get its mark, unfortunately. Yeah,
You're
sometimes
probably
we
just
miss.
slipping and vomit and Jonah Mox.
Just
Yeah.
still.
Oh.
Yeah, vomiting tends to throw off the aim a little bit, and then we will need a shooting roll at -3 for the pistol attack.
Shooting, I'm going to do is a D10.
But you have marksman, don't you?
I do indeed.
So it's only going to be at -1 on that shooting attempt because you get to ignore 2 points of penalties with marksman.
Yay.
Oh, but we're still going to get a 2, which is not going to be enough to hit. Vomiting is really detrimental to attempting combat, it would seem.
Yeah, we're just there's a lot of episode left, so I'm not going to use any more pennies. She thought she was good, and then
She needs a
just
minute.
midway through each toss was like, huh? Okay. Nope, I'm not good. And it's
Still,
like leaning
nonetheless.
against Reese.
Nonetheless, it is still another effective combat person in the fight here. And let's go to Margaret May next.
Well, I learned something in my last episode that I think is really fun. I want to blow the buggers up, So we're going to go. We're going to do our elementary mastery thing, and I'm going to start fires in a load of powder horns again.
Oh my! Going for a
but not like the
explosive
ones that are
result.
right next to. We're not going to do the ones right next to the building because I think that would be. It's weird to me that you would send me on a mission to make it not fiery. Like, they're trying to burn down a building. Great. I'm usually also trying to burn down a building, but it's all right. I won't. This time, I suppose. Although, I suppose we could have them, all
Hashtag benefits for the double rain of frogs. One
No?
from
Okay.
jumping, the other when he burst under the onslaught of the Boston Ball. Just remember, a Benny saved is a Benny earned.
Oh, thank you so much. They just gave you guys 2 more friends with benefits to
Thanks,
use in
Kat.
the store. You might need those.
Yeah.
So, who exactly are you targeting with this explosive bit, Margaret May?
Well, I think the idea was to clear a path down the middle so that we can get close to the
I see.
the place, the building.
creamy
So I
center.
figure I will just yeah, exactly. I took inspiration actually from you. So I figure we'll make pink mess out of them.
Fair enough. Jean-Pierre being inspiring. So I'm going to need that elemental.
I mean,
roll
it
from
will
you.
be the first time it's
who better
happened.
to inspire an arsonist than a suicide bomber?
So what do you have for that elemental manipulation skill there? That mastery of the elements.
I've got an 8.
All right, an 8 and a 6 for the wild die roll. Let's see how effective we can be. Ooh, a 7. Even with the -1, that becomes a 6. Wow, that's
Why is that
still
a
going to be a
-1?
success. Oh, the PowerPoint cost of what would be a PowerPoint
Right.
affects all of the rolls. So it affects how difficult or
Right.
strong something is. Unless someone has, for example, a power skill or power mastery like Jean-Pierre happens to have towards Legion.
Hello.
You, in fact, also have a similar talent, which is why it is only a -1 for something that would be much more difficult.
Right. Okay.
Oh,
So
I
sorry.
just missed a shout. If the body's a temple, every Hestian is a building to burn.
Oh, no.
That's
That's
manipulation,
Gordon there,
man. Prophetic
I'll
words.
be adding that to my personal.
Prophetic
It's no longer
words.
burn it down.
Prophetic words as
Like-
that manipulation takes effect, and more than a half dozen powder horns spontaneously combust and detonate, scattering bits of Hessian and Grenadier all over the street, yourselves, Reese, and their comrades. In a rather bloody affair. In addition, the explosion, being that it is black powder, creates a tremendous amount of smoke, where visibility is almost none. It is a terrifying moment amid the horrible screams, your ears ringing from the explosion, and the mixed smell of the burnt powder and fresh blood all over the place. And that's going to take us to what would be the attacking Hessian and Grenadiers' turns, but due to the excessive casualties on their first push, they are going to be withdrawing from the combat and abandoning the assault to retreat to the British perimeter. Of course, giving the beleaguered defenders and yourselves the opportunity to slip inside Independence Hall and perhaps fortify it against the ridiculous numbers of British troops that have surrounded the building. As standing out in the open with more than 400 guns pointed in
Well,
this
hello
direction.
everyone, this is Chaos Lumiere speaking. I can't wait for next season and the additional chaos providing store items that I will get to use on all of you. I wish you the best of luck in surviving tonight. 2 static shocks. Hashtag Zap.
And as the opportunity to retreat towards the building before facing the veritable firing squad of hundreds of guns occurs, we're going to go ahead and use one of those static shocks.
I'm shocked.
System shock, everybody. Let's start with Robert Franklin Smith up there in that corner. And let's go ahead and just swap him all the way to the other side and let Vector Reigns out to play.
Some of us only have one direction we can go.
Is that direction down?
Oh.
That's debatable. For Prudence Cafferty and Ranger Rhonda, they've been nice and comfortable in the middle, mixing the two personalities really well. But let's just let Prudence take the driver's seat and go full Avatar here. Down with Margaret May and Princess Hedgehog. Margaret May has been doing a marvelous job with the team so far. And we're going to go right in the middle and let the two of them blend, giving the most potential power available to the combination of them, but also with that extra penalty involved. And for Jonah Mox and Jean-Pierre, we are also going to go in the middle and get a nice even mix of the two.
Okay.
And it seems like we hit 250 in the store, so whenever tech is ready to make us dance for the amusement of our fans, they can do so. And, well, you'll know what to do when you hear the music play.
Is it dance?
Yes,
Dance.
Okay.
it is dance. But in the meantime, let's continue with our story. So you're able to retreat inside Independence Hall with the surviving members of the Defenders, who happen to be the Continental Marines, established right here in Philadelphia at the Tun Tavern. They've been given a lot of strange duties, like guarding the Continental Congress, because General Washington just doesn't know what to do with them.
Gentlemen,
Has he thought about sending them places and having them kill people?
Well, he tends to use his Continental Army for it, and doesn't really understand the usage of Marines. In command is Captain Samuel Nicholas, who is, also happens to be the current commandant of the Marine Corps, which is less than 2,000 total people, and only 50 of them present here. There are 25 walking wounded in addition to the 50 functional soldiers, and more than 25 dead outside from the first initial assault. The British soldiers in the perimeter around this block look like they number more than 400 strong. And it seems like they're probably preparing to make a direct assault on the building. But you've got a little time here to perhaps fortify your position or come up with some form of plan to hopefully effectively repel more than 400 assaulting troops.
so 400. So I can take 200 if you guys can handle the other two.
I think we're about to be made to
shoot.
dance.
Oh, that makes sense.
That's way.
I'm already feeling it. Look, it's already.
I'm starting to. It's
starting
in my
to jump.
toes right now. It's in my toes.
It's
Looking up
working
to
its
my
way up.
knees.
That's a long way to go, James.
It is. It is.
It's only
And
a
there's all
tower. I
kinds
don't
of
have the
spaces in
circulation
between.
for it to be in my toes.
Yoga,
Yep,
my
yep.
friend. Yoga
No,
helps
it-
with that
yeah.
circulation. I strongly recommend it.
I don't know if they can hear it.
Okay,
Is there a music thing?
Can't hear it.
There is.
Yeah,
We
they
can't hear any music. I can't hear any
I can
music.
hear it.
But I'm gonna move anyway.
Somebody
I
sing
can
along.
hear some background.
Nope, nothing.
I don't even know what I'm dancing
But I'm
That's my good ear.
to. I don't even know what I'm dancing to because I can't hear anything.
Wait, no, I saw this on the text in the top.
I saw this
Doing
move grasp me in
the
straws.
Macarena to anything.
No, I don't know if I'm in time or tempo because I can't hear it.
Take the high road.
And I'm really disappointed because
Bryce,
I
here's
really
it.
like the song.
Now I can hear it. Oh, is that Bryce? Okay. But I know the song.
Yeah.
Fade down. Ah. Thank you for getting us to that 250 mark, guys. We are halfway to a waffle.
So we were about to defend against the British when we were overcome by a funky beat.
Indeed.
The demon Dwarmathrax.
Prudence is
Sometimes.
just quietly like
The Legion of
interpretive
Liberty had
dancing
some
in a
brand new
corner.
flavor kicked in their ear.
Sometimes that happens when you run into Marines for the first time.
Heyo!
We're lucky we're not dead or pregnant. It's really what it comes down to.
That's usually the other thing that happens when you run into brain
We're
tumors.
already halfway through the episode. It could be by the end.
Someone's getting pregnant by the end of the episode.
Nose
Oh my
goes.
god, it's
Dibs.
Prudence. It's gotta be Prudence.
What? Photomod. We don't
Too
know.
horny.
We don't know.
Is Jonamox
Oh, yeah.
like a seahorse?
Probably. He looks like one.
We
Just
do not know
keeps
the
them all inside
reproductive
in his pouch.
requirements. Okay, how many? What are? I'm trying to picture Independence Hall because I've been to Boston a whole one time, or Philadelphia a whole
okay.
one time before. So what?
Well,
where,
even
where
if you
are-
had been there, recently, it wouldn't be the exact same building anyway. So
Oh, okay. Well, I'm thinking of something completely different then. So, what are our points of where are we most likely to be attacked from?
Luckily,
there
they're
are-
the British, so it'll be the front.
they do have the entire area surrounded, so it's possible they could come at all sides. But from a tactical standpoint, that is unlikely. Unfortunately, Prudence doesn't really know a whole lot about tactical battle plans, so.
Okay. So I know, fuck all. So
Yeah.
hey, guy who's in charge, where do
Yes.
you think the British are going to be coming from?
One in
They'll
my
most-
land.
Lieutenant, corporal, captain.
They'll most likely attack from a single direction initially, and then follow it with attacking from two directions at once to try and weaken and divert our forces in order to find a weak spot. When a weak spot is made or we falter in our defenses, they will send the reserve forces to attack in that particular location and try to break through.
And that's
So
why
they
you're a
start with one
Marine.
attack, and then they move to two attacks, which means that we start off with like an actual physical attack, and then later try to cripple you economically. Yeah, that sounds about right.
I love good political commentary right before a fight. Don't you?
Sue.
Especially when I can't understand the words.
All right, so we're outnumbered.
Outnumbered, outgunned.
See,
But you
mostly
do
here.
have-
I like that.
You do have the advantage of, well, the four of you and having a fortified position to defend. You also have the great advantage of peeking
range.
behind the curtain. You're going to get to use a rule of cool when they attack.
It's always fun. Always fun.
How many?
Well, I've only got these guys for 10 minutes.
Hmm.
And I can't really make more in my current state. So I think while we're fortifying the positions, we send them off to their valiant deaths.
With explosions.
Tell me about these valiant deaths.
Well, I mean, we've got enough gunpowder, right?
There is quite a bit of powder on hand.
All I need is 2 barrels. One for each of them. And then we have them use my sneaking shape-shifting ability to go out in the middle of them and, praise be to
A reasonable
France.
plan. A reasonable plan. Also, a reasonable plan during an assault is that it's unlikely you're going to have to wait 10 minutes before they attack. They're probably not going to want to give you that long to fortify your position, especially considering the sheer numbers advantage they have.
Yeah, then my 2 boys are I'm gonna give them a nod, and they're gonna nod back and each grab a barrel and run out opposite doors. And then go
Interesting
into stuff.
enough.
Yeah.
How many
Look at that.
barrels of gunpowder do we have?
Well, you've got powder horns on hand. There aren't any actual barrels, but a couple of powder horns together. Or in this case, he's got more than 25 dead and wounded
Okay.
to take the powder horns from. That's a fair amount of gunpowder to have access to.
Sweet.
Looking around, what have they done so far, I guess, to fortify?
They
Well,
have moved furniture to block window access and block some of the side door access and make fortified positions to aim and fire from. They've also used some of the furniture, benches, and tables to create natural barricades inside of the doors, so if the doorways are breached, they will have a narrow choke point to defend. The Marines do seem to know what they're doing. They're just horribly, horribly outnumbered, and without your help, it's a suicide battle for them. Unfortunately, with nowhere to go outside but into the streets where they would be shot down like in front of a firing squad, they don't really have any options of where to go. And the British seem to have not offered them any quarter or any ability to surrender. It's very not British of them, in fact, to have done such a direct, wild assault like this.
Weird.
They're
British.
stalling. They're clearly stalling. Otherwise, they would have come by now. They're waiting for something.
What do we think they're waiting for? They're trying
I
to
don't know.
sneak around
A
the back?
cannon? People like us?
Doesn't sound
Anything?
like that.
No,
We're
wait,
not
weren't
tanks.
they?
You
not
said
that.
people like us.
Weren't they
Do you mean,
digging
do you
for
mean grey
something?
coats?
Weren't they what?
Weren't they digging for something?
Not here. I mean,
Okay, some sort of. All right,
yeah, they could
And-
just wait for
just
some bigger
a little
guns.
is just
James?
a thought, just an idea, something.
Hey,
And there's
other
no-
you and me. What are you still doing here? Get the hell out and blow yourselves up. Boy, they are so unruly.
And they are on their way out. And in fact, as they are on their way out the doors after collecting powder horns and creating improvised explosives,
They're just-
as though
Just throwing bandoliers of them.
Jean-Pierre is some form of prophet, when he says their stalling words, you hear the drums begin and hear the marching of boots as the British begin to advance on Independence Hall. So
Well, we were getting so-
we're going to start with these 2 suicide bombs. They're going to go, and then we're going to deal out cards to go for a rule of cool. And you're going to talk about how you're going to help repel these things in some fashion. But the first thing we're going to do is have 2 Jean-Pierres blow themselves up in a catastrophic and brilliant fashion, which will, of course, is going to affect the final outcome.
Those Jean-Pierres are taking the opportunity right now to invent parkour. That's their whole plan. They're inventing
Nice.
parkour on the spot while laden down with the powder horns of many dead soldiers.
Are they gonna loudly yell it every time they do it?
No, they don't know about that yet.
Okay.
Okay. So tell me a
doesn't
little
make-
more about this.
Well, I mean, he's got a lot of bodies and barricades to get over, and he's trying to get into a large concentration of people. So I think they're probably going to immediately grab redcoats and like throw them on real quick, and let them know there's a counterattack coming, and just get as close as they can, while hurdling parkour style, which they've
All
just
right.
invented.
Well, let's see how effective they are, because they're trying to convince these advancing Hessians and British that they are, in fact, on their side before detonating themselves. I'm going to have you use persuasion to trick them.
Okay, persuasion it is.
What do you have for persuasion?
Well, that's
And you
an
can use
excellent-
either character sheet, as you're in the center.
Oh, I'll take my D8 then.
All right. You're going to be at a -1, of course, so I need the D8 and the D6 for the first one. A 5. 1 Jean-Pierre is successful.
good.
Let's
That
get
is
into the
good.
second one. 1 other D8 and D6 for Jean-Pierre. Number 2.
Oh,
Not so successful. Unfortunately,
Oh,
the
no.
second Jean-Pierre is detected, and due to the sheer volume of fire they sent at him, he is horribly gunned down in his parkour run on the way through. The second one, however, is completely accepted as a member of the British soldiers and makes his way directly into the advancing line
Don't
of
worry,
British
Jack. Take me to the captain immediately.
before having a terrifying explosion. I'm going to go ahead and just have our lovely people, Leo and Tech, will you just roll 2 12-sided dice for me for casualties, please?
Do better.
Sorry,
I
Jean-Pierre.
feel like
9 is
spending a
still
penny in.
very effective, and 9 are killed outright, and several more wounded in the explosion. That 9, however, because it is rounded up to 10 when we do our mass battle results at the end of our rule of cool, is going to mean a +2 bonus to your side's roll for
All right.
inflicting casualties.
Take it.
Now I'm going to deal out cards for the rule of cool so that we can all see who has the craziest plan to repel a multi-pronged assault from all of these soldiers coming in. And we're going to ignore the GM card because it doesn't matter in the rule of cool. It does look like, however, with that 4, that Prudence is going to have to tell us her rule of cool plan first.
Oh, nothing like pondering. Oh, and then being put on the spot. Let's see. I think with Prudence, what's cool about Prudence? Prudence can shoot real well, and she can not die, basically. So I think Prudence finds some high ground, starts just like snipering people.
Anyone in particular?
Let's find whoever seems to be in charge. I'm gonna take out a general, somebody who would create chaos. And then, I am going to, basically convince them all that I have a terrible disease and that I'm gonna rip part of the flesh off of my face and arms, and I'm gonna just jump off the rooftop or wherever I've been perched and start going through the crowd, biting each one of them, telling them, "You have it now, you have it now," and spitting blood into their faces. And see if I can
It's terrifying.
get people scared enough that they start to flee. And I say, they all have it. They all have it. So I'm going fake.
So
zombie.
it's the gangs of New York defense.
I wish I had seen that movie. That probably would have made me much cooler right now than I am.
Oh, I don't know. That's not bad at all. That is a good enough rule of cool. So we got the first one in. The second, of course, we're going to need to hear from the combination Princess Hedgehog, Margaret May, as both personalities are there. We could hear just about any kind of plan from these two mixed together. What is your ultimate physics be damned, rule of cool
Physics be damned.
method of helping
Right.
to either defend or repel these attackers?
I mean, physics be damned, and I guess probably also I'm going to want to do everything on this sheet, really, because I've got two magic users. So we'll start off with casting sloth on everyone. And then I'm going to start singing a old Irish song. I'm walking on sunshine. While everyone's moving slow motion around me, and I'm just sort of wandering through the scene, pretending like I'm Quicksilver. And then I'm just going to start drawing fire toward me from all of their various torches, and then shooting it back out from my fingertips, "Ooh, I'm walking on sunshine, burn you." So everybody's slow motion. I'm moving normal speed and just burning everyone that comes in my path.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna walk right
I
out
like
the
this.
front door like I can't be
This is
hurt.
good.
I like this. We've got two great ones so far. Robert Franklin Smith, what is your ultimate? And again, it can be in the aggressive fashion. It could be in the defensive fashion. It could be in something entirely creative. You have the entire floor to come up with methods to help defend this building and its occupants or repel this attack.
Well, Vector Reigns is not one to let other people show him up. So, I'd grab 2 powder horns, put them on my side.
Drink some.
Drink it! Cough! I'd run up the stairs, or wherever I need to be to get above people.
Okay.
I would jump down. As I'm jumping, I would force the personality shift to go halfway in between so I could access Franklin Smith's abilities. And then I would just start grabbing people's guns and shooting them with their own guns. And just spinning around, grabbing everything that I can, shooting them, trying to continue walking forward, shooting them. And then if that didn't work, I would just take the 2 powder horns and slam them together to make an explosion. Because I'm hoping that I'm tough enough to like withstand it. But if not, it'll take a bunch of people out and it should be okay.
Brutal. Wow. That one is gutsy. I like that one a lot. All right. And of course, last, we're going to hear from our Jean-Pierre Jonomax.
All right. Am I halfway? I can't tell where I'm still halfway, right?
I believe you're still center.
Great.
Yes, you are still center.
That means I can use both. All right. Who is the most famous patriot in the room?
Oh, man. Take your pick.
I mean, is Ben Franklin here?
No, Ben Franklin would be currently overseas at the moment.
Damn. I really wanted to do Ben Franklin. But you know what? Let's give him reason to be famous. John Hancock, who has more than just a big name, is probably around. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna knock him out. Like I'm just gonna one punch John Hancock and take his coat and dress like him real quick. That's the first action. Then I am going to split myself into as many me's as possible. And have all of those John Hancocks as a standing army. I am then going to have them all change into liquid form and merge into one Mega Hancock. The Mega Hancock will go out and sign his giant-ass name on the British soldiers before stomping them. Which is really just a tidal wave of patriotism that is going to descend upon the British forces.
Wow.
Mega Hancock.
Mega Hancock.
By the way, that's my movie idea, and nobody can take it.
Mega Hancock. Wow. Well, guys, yeah, you heard it, and that means it's going to be up to you, chat, to vote.
Yes,
which one
Mega
of these.
Cock for short.
It's going to be up to you to vote on which one of
Everyone's going
these.
to vote Megacock because you've said Megacock.
It's called, like, I'm voting for Megacock. I'm not gonna lie. I mean,
Every red-blooded American votes for Megacock.
Wouldn't want Mega Cock.
anyone who was ever an adolescent at any time, which is most of us, is gonna
Like when
go
they're
for
44?
Megacock. Yeah, I am 36. Megacock is my vote, and I still laugh whenever James says duty. So
Duty's hilarious. That's
Well, speaking of chat, it is your duty to vote on which one of these you think is the best plan, and will automatically be a success with a raise. The others, of course, are still going to have to try their harebrained schemes
oh god.
to see what happens.
I love the fact that I get to see Megacock printed
Yeah,
on the
there's so
screen.
much
in the chat
Megacock
window. I'm like,
going
okay,
on.
well, even if it doesn't win.
The amount of times that I'll have had to split my role on, my particular one is making me really nervous.
Megacock.
Yeah,
Yep.
Me too, Helen. Me too.
Same Z's.
We picked some absolutely apeshit things to try and do, so when we fail, we're gonna fail big.
Yeah.
Spectacularly.
It's good. It's important.
God.
I'm like
Here we
watching.
go.
I know, I was just like, who?
It's looking like
do we need an
Megacock has a
explanation?
strong
Herbie
lead.
Hancock hashtag
Megacock
shout.
is big ahead.
Oh,
Megacock's got a lot of strokes behind
that
it.
was just a shout out. It's not the end.
yes, it was a shout out though.
Yes, it was something about Megacock. That's all that matters.
So to vote you, what you did? It's words. I have words today.
I don't.
But
An
they all have
exclamation
really
point
pronounced
vote and then the
R's.
number.
Yep, make sure there's a space between
It's
exclamation
Mega
point, vote,
Herbie
and number.
Hancock hashtag shout.
Oh
Megacock.
How we do it?
no!
It's Mega
Herbie
Herbie Hancock. Yeah.
So much
Ooh.
jazz.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just saying it's not too late to vote for me. I know you won't, but it's not too late.
No,
Poll's
I
gonna
want
close any minute, guys. We are gonna have our results, and then all hell is gonna break
God.
loose.
Last time we did did real cool. I critically failed on the first move, and the rest of it was just ridiculous.
That's how it goes. It's just a lot of us falling down.
It was great.
I haven't had my critical fail yet for today, so I'm getting nervous.
You only get one per week. That's barely anything. Live in my world for a day.
Tying your shoes, epic fail.
All right, it's at the end of it.
It
Okay.
looks like.
How did I cut myself?
Oh, I have not seen the.
Nobody
the
has
results yet.
crit failed on dice.
Now, on
Opportunity that we've all
decision
crit failed in
making,
life.
on decision making, we've all made at least one crit fail. We showed up.
Wait.
We are. This is the highlight of my week, though. So
Oh yeah.
Ooh,
But it's
here
like
it comes!
those
Here it
scary
comes!
Oh,
I'm so
snap.
excited! Come on!
Mega God!
Oh!
Oh,
we all knew it was going to happen.
that's a lot of mega cock
All
right
right. Looks like, yeah, that's a pretty big win for Mega Cuck, which means everyone else is still gonna have to try. Let's go ahead and start with Prudence and the lovely, terrible action.
I firmly
Oh.
believe this is how elections are won in the real world, by the way.
there. You're not wrong.
It's all name recognition. They're like, mega cock. I like the sound of that.
I wouldn't say no to a
But his
mega cock.
policies doesn't matter. His name's
All
Mega
right, so
Cock.
we're going to need quite a few rolls from you, Prudence. So we're going to start with the shooting rolls. These, of course, are going to be shooting rolls at a -8. So I'm going to need... Go ahead and what's your shooting die?
Prudence shooting die is a D10.
All right, so I can get a D10 and a D6 with
But
a
I'm using my-
-8.
Trademark weapon, so is that
Well,
something?
that means that this first one is actually only going to be at -5, so it just only fails instead of miserably fails.
Hey.
But the next two are at the full -8. Well, excuse me, -7. So I can get two more rolls at -7 with a D10 and a D6. No, and one more time, just for good measure, to see if anything occurs from this.
All right.
No.
She's
So
still just puking. Like she, like
So
she
your
caught
first-
a glimpse of Reese and was like, it came crashing back.
She got
Your
the powder
first-
wet by puking down the barrel.
Her.
your first three shots, of course, complete misses, all aimed at officers, but you just don't have it today, and you missed all three of these officers. I need an athletics test for the jumping face ripping bit.
Yeah. We're gonna go with the D8.
All right, a D8 and a D6, also at a -8.
She's gonna do the superhero stance.
Hey, only a
Minus
-1
8.
on that one, so you know it's less of a face rip and more of a slight facial tear. Tumble off the roof, land in the dirt a few times, covered in dirt, screaming horrific things about having this plague. And I'm going to have you do an intimidate roll for the last bit of trying to convince these soldiers that you have the plague, and your biting is going to give that plague to them. That is also going to be a -8. What do you have for intimidate?
I don't have intimidate, so I think
Oh,
I'm a
so that's-
D4.
Yep, that's going to be a D4 and a D6 and a -10, in fact, because you don't have. And it is a critical failure. With a mouthful of dirt and slightly mangled from a near broken jaw from the collapse, your words are completely unintelligible, and while a horrifying sight, it is not even remotely intimidating. It looks more like Prudence attempted some form of suicide rather than some form of an attack.
God.
You run, buzz, meow.
Yeah.
Now, fortunately, I think that this display would have convinced pretty much everyone that she had rabies anyway. So
It is entirely
I think
possible.
maybe it
that you are
works.
right.
We're just got hit in the head really hard.
Now, I'm going to go to Margaret May / Princess Hedgehog next. And of course, you're attempting to do a whole lot of things at once, too. But let's just start with the sloth bit, which is going to be a spell casting roll. You're also going to be at that -8 to it, though. What do you have for spell casting?
I've got a 12.
All right, and you're in the center, so it's actually going to be -9. So a D12 and a D6 -9 is a 1. Not absolutely a failure, but still not so effective. You really overreach with your spell casting, trying to get so many soldiers at once. And while there is the most imperceptible slowing of them, it's not what you were going for at all. It's more like they just sort of faltered for a half step before continuing their march forward. Now, moving to the center of them, they aren't slow at all as you're trying to pull all this fire to you. And I'm going to need the elemental manipulation roll on that next one. Also going to be at that -9. What do you have for that?
Problem is that's an 8.
All right, a D8 and a D6.
I really thought the chat would
-9.
vote for me.
They usually do. I'm telling you, name recognition.
Oh, trying to pull that fire to you is also just not happening. You're just reaching out to so many sources at once that you just start to pull the fire away, and before you can even get it, it is just going right back to where it came from. You're just trying to do so much at once. It's just not within your power. And that, of course,
I'm just standing in the middle of the crowd going, I'm walking on sunshine.
yes. Yep, and there are a lot of guns and bayonets pointed at you in the process, so probably not a healthy place to be. Now let's go to Vector Reigns.
Let me bank a few of these given how tonight's going so far. #Jam Prudence needs more prudence in her actions.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to add those to my pile over here.
I'd love to thank them, but I can't for this.
Vector Reigns, 2 powder horns in hand from upstairs. You're going to try to move to the center of these guys. You're going to superhero jump. Is that what I'm getting?
I'm going to superhero jump, but I'm also going to use a Benny to go in the middle.
All right, so Benny spent to be center.
And then I was going to
be an added.
jump down and start trying to take their guns and shooting each other with their guns.
I'm going to need an athletics roll at a -9.
Yeah.
Now, of course, this only becomes a -7 as you went to the middle, and Vector Reigns gets a +2 bonus when he attempts to do things that are daring and foolish. So you're only going to be at a -7, as this is definitely daring and foolish. What do you got for athletics?
I've got a D. I'm going to use the Smith Athletics of D12 +1.
So D12 -6 and a 6 wild die. Not completely and horribly a failure, but still a failure nonetheless. As you leap down, it's less of an epic landing and more of a didn't break your legs landing, but you didn't quite stick it. And then reaching through to grab guns is remarkably ineffective on these long-barreled rifles. They're not slowed down at all by Princess Hedgehog's magic, so they're kind of just moving back every time you try to grab a rifle and staying just out of reach. So you just get to the end of it of trying to grab rifles and have nothing left to do but slam these 2 powder horns together and hope for the best.
Hoping for a big
now,
bang.
I'm not going to require an action roll to slam the powder horns together, but those do detonate, and you are going to immediately take damage as well as the individuals around you. So if I can get a 4d8 damage roll, please, as the powder horns detonate.
We're all going to die.
That's more than I was expecting. Will.
Guys, this is us. To be honest, this is us.
Just a little more than I was expecting.
That was a lot of dice. There was a lot of exploding dice there.
Huh.
51 is a lot of damage. I don't know if you can take that much damage, even in your enhanced tough state.
I don't think I can, but we'll find out, I guess.
What is your toughness, by the
It's-
way, boosted as it is?
15.
15. So, hey, that means that, 36. So you only have to soak 9 wounds
Yeah,
to
we got
not be
there.
dropped by that explosion. So, why don't you tell me, what's your vigor at right now? What vigor die do you have?
It is D12 plus 3.
6.
I wish it
D12
was
plus 3. All right, I'll take a D12 plus 3 and a D6 rolled together for Vector trying to soak some of this damage and not become immediately incapacitated.
Gonna use a Benny.
You want to spend a Benny?
Yeah,
All
I'm
right,
gonna spend a
the
Benny.
You are down to 2 personal bennies as we roll this.
Alright.
That's still not going to do it. Do you want to try again?
Keep
Yeah,
going,
we'll try
man.
again.
We got some in the store.
Okay.
There are 4 in the store for you at least that I know of.
Ugh.
Still not going to do it. 9 so far is your best roll. Try one last time with your last personal Benny.
I'm gonna use one Benny from the store and hope that it works.
All right, using a Benny from the store to try one more time.
That's
Still not
literally
getting
the
an
most
ace.
rare
Oh,
possible.
God.
Do you want to try again? There are still 3 friends with benefits in the store you can access to, and you have 1 personal Benny left.
I will use my one personal Benny because
Last personal Benny used. Roll it one more time. See if he can do better than that 9 that was rolled.
what is
No,
this?
the 9 is
What?
12.
Could you
Which
please let
does-
the dice roller? It's not me rolling. They don't have to do the joke.
Yeah, come on, man. Like,
Which does mean that 4 of those wounds did get soaked. However, 5 of them went through, and at 3, you become incapacitated. So Robert Franklin Smith hits the ground in the midst of his own explosion. However, that 51-point damage explosion was so devastating that 30 British soldiers were killed in that same explosion. So he did go down, creating quite the effect, which of course is going to bring us to the guy who won the poll. Mega Herbie Hancock in action, automatically succeeding with a raise. So walk us through exactly what happens.
Lord.
So, again, punch out Hancock, put on his coat. Now I look like Hancock. Then I make a bunch. I make as many doubles as I possibly can. I turn them into liquid form. They form into one Mega Hancock, or Mega Cock, as we have decided to call it now.
it's one mega cock.
But you know, they're still out there basically in a humanoid liquid form, looking like a giant John Hancock. And goes out and gives them the business metaverse flood style and just becomes a tidal wave of patriotism upon the invading British.
Can you have a giant quill as your mega sword?
I don't see why not.
Can you
Huge
tell
quill.
us about this giant flood of patriotism and what happens to these British soldiers caught up in it?
They get washed away and drowned in my Jono Moxiness.
Oh, which means they're
It's
probably
not like
not
it's
survive.
a
They're
bit
breathing it in.
thicker than water, so it's gross. You know, it's like drinking Nickelodeon slime.
Okay.
So we've just turned the whole battlefield into like a
Like they
Jello
said,
wrestling
I
match.
don't know on Canadian television. Yeah, just they're done.
All right. That is going to be another total of 5. So in total effects, we have a plus 12 bonus to the defender's roll against the attacker's roll in the mass battles a bit here. So if I can get the wonderful and amazing Leo and Tech to give me an 8-sided dice roll, and between the plus 12 bonus and the plus 4 bonus, they get plus 16 to this roll as defenders, meaning that they have a 19 against the attacker's roll of a D8 plus 5. If I can get one more roll of D8, please. 13. Aces up to 17. Still not enough. And in the onslaught of combat, despite Vector Reigns going down from his own explosion, the combination of this explosion, the 2 Jean-Pierre Jonamox suicide bomb runs, the lunacy committed by both Margaret May and Prudence Cafferty, and of course, the megacock patriotism flood washing away British soldiers. They are driven back in their assault and forced to retreat back to their lines after losing a tremendous amount of their attackers. This, of course, leaves the battlefield covered in a horrible haze of smoke, the smell of Jonamox and patriotism, and the wounded and bleeding form of Robert Franklin Smith, who I'm going to need a vigor roll on you so you don't bleed out. So can I get a D12 plus 3 and a D6 from Vector Reigns to see if he bleeds out?
Since I didn't use any of my magic, can I like run up and try to cast a heal on him?
Well, with an 8, he's not going to bleed out, so you've definitely got a chance to do that. Why don't we do that spell casting roll? Are you in the center, my dear? All right, so if I get a D12 and a D6 for the spell casting on behalf of Princess Hedgehog, trying to heal our Victorines, that's 6 aces, and becomes an 8. It's going to be enough with your capabilities to restore back 2 wounds. So you're going to have 1 wound as you regain conscious, Vector Reigns / Robert Franklin Smith. So you're going to suffer that wound penalty.
You didn't
unless,
die.
of course, you have nerves of steel.
Dude.
But you are no longer dead or bleeding out on the battlefield. You are, however, in a lot of pain and have severe burns over a lot of your body. Now, as these troops withdraw and the haze of powder smoke and the sounds of the dying are around you, a new terror materializes. Flying through the air, covered in blood-red plate armor from ages past, is the infamous Red Knight, the most feared and dangerous of all of the British grey coat operatives. Merciless, brilliant, and considered by many to be the most powerful superhuman alive. And as he glides through the air towards Independence Hall, he is flanked by his 2 notorious and trusted cohorts, the deadly Blackguard and Mr. Grimm. Blackguard's body covered in natural spines that sprout from his arms, legs, back, head, and chest in all directions, making him a terror sight. Mr. Grimm is nearly 7 feet tall, but incredibly lean. His skin stretched so tight you can almost see his skeletal figure underneath the pasty white albino skin. And as the Red Knight approaches, his voice can be heard. Legionnaires, step forth if you have the courage to face me. Let us decide the outcome of this battle face to face.
Hancock!
Are we inviting Kevin Hart to drop the mic tonight? #hack attack. Adding in a bit more. #hack attack.
Uh-oh.
It's coming.
Things are coming in there. All right.
My God.
But, of course, all of you happen to already be outside of the building and present for him to face. And as he glides through the smoke and gets a clear view of you, he gazes down upon you with malice. As we suspected, very clever meta-pilots, but it will not be enough. Cut your losses, leave these bodies in this place, and the collective will let you go in peace. I will give you this offer but once.
My middle fingers are big right now, and I just want to make sure that he sees both of them.
All right. That means we, of course, are going to go right into dealing out cards again, as this fight will decide the fate of the war and what will happen with the Galvanic Collective in this dimension. And it looks like from those card outcomes,
They're going first.
Oh no.
they are going first. Yes, and so Blackguard is going to start us out. As I explained before, his entire body is covered with giant spines that seem to grow and protrude out of him from all sorts of different places. It must make his wardrobe extremely difficult. And as he advances towards you, he's going to choose Prudence Cafferty as his target. Pulling two of these spines from his body, he hurls them each, one at a time, straight towards Prudence. If I can get 2 athletics rolls done, please, by our lovely tech. A D8 and a D6, followed by a D8 and a D6. Ranged attacks against Prudence. Well, with a -2, only one of those is going to hit because he multi-acted. But one of those will, in fact, hit Prudence Cafferty because parry does not apply against ranged attacks. And that is going to inflict a D12 plus a D8 for damage against Prudence Cafferty. And with 12 damage, what is your toughness, Prudence?
Prudence's toughness is 9.
9.
Good.
So that is enough to injure Prudence, which means that your reflexive power of healing immediately kicks in. What do you have for your healing for the roll?
D12.
All right, a D12 and a D6 from Prudence as the wound occurs. Let's see what happens. A success is enough to count out the 1 wound done. So while you are stuck with this spike, it falls from the wound, which immediately closes up, and you are unhurt from that attack. Mr. Grimm is going to go next of the 3 villains. Mr. Grimm is going to use a mimic power targeting Jean-Pierre Jonamax because Mr. Grimm also wants to become a giant person in the middle of the battlefield to fight the giant version of Hancock that is in the battlefield. Because that seems fitting, does it not?
Well,
So if I
hopefully
can
he can mimic a lot of powers at once.
I can get a D10 and a D6 rolled for Mr. Grimm attempting to copy some of these powers. He's going to be able to copy but one of these powers. So in his particular case, it's only going to be the first one. So there are now 2 Mr. Grimms on the battlefield, as he has used the Legion power of Jean-Pierre to make duplicates of himself.
Smart.
Not quite as successful as he was going for, but still successful nonetheless. Now, Giant John Hancock is clearly the most dangerous threat on the battlefield, and therefore the Red Knight is going to be targeting the giant Megacock on the battlefield.
It's hard to blame him.
Everyone wants Megacock.
Yes,
You know,
there
I
might be
could-
some envy there. All right, and so he is going to use his ability to fire bolts of force, or
Seems
hurl
like a
bolts of
good
force,
idea.
at the giant John Hancock. So if I can get for him a D12 and a D6 rolled to throw a bolt of force at Megacock. That's 6 aces.
Oh no.
And we have a success with a raise with the added damage modifier. So 4d6 damage against Megacock.
What kind of damage was that?
Force damage.
Okay.
So if I can get 4d6 damage rolled against Megacock. I'm just going to keep saying that.
Yeah, just extra force and emphasis.
For a total of, looks to me like 19 if I'm reading this right.
Yes.
19 damage against Megacock. What is Megacock's toughness?
Megacock jiggles like a jello mold and shrugs it off because he's in liquid form.
Hashtag
Oh!
kill finish it.
Meg-
History has its eyes on you as it's time for some epic rap battles of history. Let's see who's got the chops to be in it to win it. Let's see who can win this epic rap battle against the Redcoats. Hashtag hack attack kill finish it. History has its eyes on you as it's time for some epic rap battles of history. Let's see who's got the chops to be in it to win it. Let's see who can win this epic rap battle against the Redcoats.
I'm sorry. Are we being asked to rap battle?
I think that might be what we got hack attacked. I'm not entirely certain just yet. I'll be checking on that as we go through this combat round. I'm a little bit frightened. I'm not going to lie.
Right, I'm
Because
gonna
we
start
don't
writing
really
down
have to
rhymes
beat
now.
the British in a rap battle. We only have to beat James.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
we
going to
got
be really
this.
easy. This is a one-sided battle.
Yeah, are we gonna get split up into teams? Like, what's gonna happen?
God, that's horrifying to even think about. Of course, that's going to go
Each
to...
side picks a champion, and either way, the other side is James. We're not allowed to lose it.
Yeah. Hey, Queen of Spades is going to be next, and that, of course, is Princess Hedgehog / Margaret May. Yeah, that's...
Sorry, I was distracted writing down rhymes.
Yeah, I have no pen around. I'm losing my mind right now.
What rhymes with cock?
So many things. Right. Sorry. So where are we? Right. Well, I'm gonna. You know what? My plan didn't work last time, so I feel like I'm going to do it again.
That sounds
Can
like a good idea.
I know, right? So I'm going to cast Sloth and then Fireballs.
Okay, I'm going to need... that's a multi-action, so I'm going to need the casting roll for Sloth first. And who's your target for Sloth?
Well, I figure I'll cook the one in armor.
All right.
Barbecue.
For Sloth?
Yes.
Okay, Sloth on the Red Knight. So I'm going to
that's
need you
at a 12.
Yep, a D12.
Well, 12 minus 1.
Yep, it's actually going to be at -5 because the Red Knight has improved arcane resistance.
Oh no!
And that is a critical failure.
Oof.
Oh no!
I can't even reroll it, can I?
Nope, that gives you some dynamic backlash. In this case, poor Princess Hedgehog / Margaret May picks up a level of fatigue. That's going to give you a -1 to any rolls you make. So that following action of the throwing the firebolt is going to not only have the -2 multi-action penalty, the -1 being in the center penalty, but a -1 fatigue penalty. So a -4 to your bolt skill roll, which is at what?
It's at a 10.
All right, a D10 and a D6.
Yeah, let's. I'm gonna spend a penny. I'm spending a penny.
All right, Benny spent.
Okay.
Okay. That's better.
Oh my gosh.
I think
That is going to be a success, but
that's a
again,
success,
that
just barely.
that improved arcane resistance is going to come into play. So not only do you get to do your 2d6 damage as normal, but he's going to get to subtract 4 from that damage result. So if I can get 2d6 4 damage. That's going to be 11 after the -4, and his toughness is 12, so that's not going to beat it. That plate armor is going to deflect some of that damage done to him.
I mean, the
Oh.
idea was that we'd cook him inside of it, though. So
Technically, his
Does it
toughness is
deflect or does it
actually his toughness is 18 because he's surrounded by a force field as well, and that alone is going to be enough to repel that flame damage. So that's just not going to do it. He is known as the most powerful superhuman for a reason. So not a very successful round for you, but let's see what happens with old Jean-Pierre Jeunemans.
All right, I need, well, I'm still big, so I want to feint and attack like I would with my sword, but just with my giant watery fist, and I'm going to try and blast the two, what are they called? The, not Red Knights, but the...
You've got
spiky guy?
Mr. Grimm on the ground who has duplicated himself, and Blackguard who has grown and thrown spikes from his body.
That's awful. Yeah, but the Grimms I'm going to blast back and try and basically knock down for the round. Using my...
All right.
Blast.
What skill does that involve?
It'll be a fighting for the feint, because I'm going to act like I'm swinging at them, and then a shooting test to hit them.
All right, give me the what are those skill rolls?
It'll be a D10 for the first one.
D10 and D6.
Yeah.
6 aces.
Good deal.
That's going to be a success with a raise. So that makes it, not only are they distracted, but they're vulnerable. So you get a +2 to your next roll against them, and they have a penalty of 2 on any roll that they're going to make.
I'll take a D8 on that as well.
All right, I'll take a D8 and D6 on that. With a +2, that becomes a 9, which is also a raise. So what happens to this poor person hit by it?
They take fatigue damage. Strength plus strength plus 2d6. No, strength plus d6 fatigue damage, and are knocked prone.
All right, if I can get your strength for it.
D8.
All right, a D8 plus a D6 for damage. It's going to be 8. Toughness is 11, so that's not going to overcome it, but they are still knocked prone.
Cool. And they're still vulnerable.
They are still considered vulnerable. Anybody else attacking against them is going to get that +2 bonus from you because of your successful thing. And they're stuck with that penalty of 2 on any roll they make until the end of their following turn. So they're not going to be so successful on their next one. And that's going to take us to Prudence Cafferty with the 9 next.
Indeed. I think. How far away is the blackguard, the porcupine?
Blackguard? Oh man, he's maybe 20 meters from you. You could close to him in hand-to-hand combat if you wanted to, or you could engage him at range from here.
I'm gonna do a split action. I'm gonna take the brown bess and fire at him, and then kind of continue through the action. But I'm going to pick the spike up off the ground that he threw at me, and I'm going to come at him with his own spike and try and jab him with the spike. Because I like shooting, and I like fighting.
All right. So if you're going to jab him, that's physical combat, like hand-to-hand jab him? Is that
I think I'm going to try and close in on him.
So shoot and then jab.
Take a range and then come in for a
Okay.
jab.
So -2 for multi-action. But you get a +2 bonus on anything against him, so that offsets it. So give me that shooting action first. What do you have for shooting?
So shooting for Prudence is a D10, but I
Marksman.
get a bonus. Yeah, I get a bonus for using the brown bess.
And there, so that's going to make that going to be a 7-8 for using the brown bess and marksman. So that's going to be a success with a raise on the shooting roll. So let's do the shooting damage first. What kind of damage does the brown bess normally do?
2d8.
So 2d8 plus a d6 for the raise on the prone blackguard is going to be a total of 10. It still doesn't beat the toughness, but you have shot him. Charging into hand, you not only get the +2 bonus from being distracted and vulnerable, but you get a further +2 bonus because, well, he's prone on the ground and can't properly defend himself. So your fighting roll is going to be at a +4 as you try to stab him with the thrown quill from his body. What do you have for fighting?
D8 for fighting.
All right, a D8 and a D6. A +4 bonus to this attack going against his parry is going to be a 10. His parry is 8, so it won't be a raise, but it still is going to be a success. Now this weapon is going to do your strength plus a D8 for damage.
My strength is a D8, so 2d8.
All right, so 2d8 for damage.
Throw a spike at me, I'm gonna jab you with your own spike.
7, again, not going to overcome that good toughness of his as he is rolling on the ground, just scarcely avoiding being skewered, and he only managed to hit the leather overcoat he wears in the fight. But you are still in close combat and now standing over him. And that will take us to Vector Rains / Robert Franklin Smith to finish out this round.
Excellent. Okay. Mr. Grimm, one of them's on. There's 2 Mr. Grimm still, right?
Yes.
Excellent. Well, I'm tired, but I'll pull myself up. I'm gonna grab my axe off my belt. Let's dance, big man. And I'm just gonna go and just start asking him some questions. Everyone loves accent. It's a joke.
That was good. That was good. Those were good.
So I'm going to.
That's going to be fighting?
Yep.
How many times are we going to make
You know
fighting?
what? We're gonna do it twice. We're gonna roll that dice. We'll see how this goes.
All right. What is your fighting skill?
Fighting is a D12.
All right. D12 and a D6 also. Going against the parry of Mr. Grimm. His parry is 7, so that's not going to beat it on that first attack. Give me that second one, another D12 and D6. 6 aces. And jumps up to a 9. A 9 is going to be, even with the -2 multi-action, just enough to beat his parry.
I am also so severely wounded.
Oh, that makes it down to a 5 because of the wound. That will not beat his parry. He's going to be able to deflect that. Now, of course, that means another round of cards, but we have a hack attack coming into this play. So rather than you getting to take your normal action on this next one, according to the powers that be on this hack attack, when your card comes up, you're going to need to do a, I quote, epic rap battle of history.
This is gonna go so poorly.
So
Yes, it is.
poorly.
I feel really bad, and I apologize in advance to everyone that's going to have to hear whatever it is that ends up coming out of my mouth that I make up.
Oh my god.
But it looks like, oh, I got to give a different card to Jean-Pierre Jonamox, since he can't have a 2. You get a 7 instead. But it does look like, thankfully, I get second instead of first. But we're going to hear from Prudence Cafferty / Rhonda.
No.
The first, yeah, that's how that's. Of course, you know, if you want to spend a penny and get a different card, you can spend a penny and a different card. I have some pennies. I am absolutely gonna spend a penny and a different card because I don't want that card.
Can't you
No,
just delay?
let's just get it over with. It's not gonna get any better the further
Nope.
down the line we go.
It's not.
So,
I spent one and I didn't even move a place, so I'm still gonna end up going second. This is gonna suck.
Okay, who's doing what first now?
Prudence has got to go first according to the cards that have been dealt out.
Oh my god.
It's going to go, first, so everyone is ready. It's going to go Prudence. Then I am going to be forced to go. Then Jean-Pierre Jonamox is going to be forced to go. Then Robert Franklin Smith. And then lastly, Margaret May.
This is gonna be so bad.
I am.
Oh my god.
This is going to be terrible. And I hate all of you.
Okay, I'm choosing to dip into a classic rap style. So for the kids who don't know, this is how it used to sound back in the day. No! Everything in my brain is yelling no right now.
Just do
That's
it.
how I
Do it.
feel.
It's okay, we
Take
got
a deep
it,
breath
right?
and let the bullshit out.
Well, my name is Prudence, and I'm here to say saving America's the only way. We got JP May and Robert Franklin Smith. We're gonna make you in your pants go shush. Well, we're gonna fight these guys. We're gonna jump on a ship. We're gonna go hip 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 bippity bip.
Wow. That's, ouch.
I imagine there is resounding applause ringing from every home at this point.
Oh, yes, clearly. In fact, the Liberty Bell itself is ringing.
Thank you. You're welcome. I have blessed 1776 with the classic improv game. Well, my name is so-and-so, and I'm
here to say.
All right. Here's the most horrible thing you will probably ever hear me do on any stream.
Do it!
Your colonies are falling, and the good King George is calling. You'll be reeling and kneeling as you get that losing feeling. You think you're fighting for your right, but your morals are all white. You'll be begging to come back before we reach the end of night.
Yeah! You forgot to cross your arms over you.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
Arms crossed.
wait a second, because there have been some pauses during the game, and I'm like, what is James doing?
He's writing his first hip hop song.
And tearing it up is the freaking answer.
Yeah, see, I knew he was going to do that, the son of a bitch.
Oh, I can't go. I'll spend a penny to get a different card. Well, my
all
name
Marines
is James.
listen to Pantera and know how to rap a little bit.
Dang! All right, cool. Well, sucks to be the next person.
Who's the next person?
Christian, I think.
Are you kidding me?
I have no clue. Not me. I got 4. So that's all I know.
I may have misunderstood what the assignment was. I'm in the mega cock form, and I went with it based on that.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And he's halfway in between. So let's see if I can read
So
my
you
own
can say you're
writing
semi?
with only one eye. It can happen. All right. H-A-N to the great big Willie. Mega Hancock gonna knock you silly. Coming to the blast, feel the splash. No amount of cash will save you for last. I'm too fast. And my name's too large. Send you back to England on a garbage barge. Mega cock.
Mega cock.
Holy shit.
Oh, so good.
Ooh.
I love it.
Oh, everybody.
Now that was a powerful verse. There were some definitely wounds inflicted in the rap battle from that one.
This is very Scott Pilgrim versus.
I love it.
It's good.
I guess we're going to go to you, Robert Franklin Smith / Vector Reigns. What have you got for us?
All right. I am going to read it because I did write it, so I'm sorry if I'm not looking at the camera, everyone. Vector coming at you with the strength of stars. I'm in Robert Smith's body because ripped from bending bars. You didn't see it coming when I pulled a Glock. Coming from around the side of my boy, Mega Cock. You mess with the meta pipes, you're about to get turned. Cause Margaret May come and fill your face with burnt. You're smelling sausage cooking, the animals looking for meat. Go back to shitty England cause your ass got beat.
Yes!
This is going way better than I thought it was going.
Ow!
Mega
And
cock.
with that verse, the three villains are in fact reeling from horrible injuries inflicted so far in the rap battle. This is just looking brutal. Margaret May / Princess Hedgehog, you get to have the last word in this battle.
I don't know if I can follow that, if I'm honest, but here we go. All right.
I'm still not
So
sure.
much for the bravery of the British. Good God, you look skittish. Your situation's dire on the funeral pyre. Robbie's a bruiser, here to stay. He's going to save the motherfucking day. We've got Prudence over here, cat piss in a bucket, ready to tell you where you can shove it. Suddenly you find yourself face to face with John Hancock's Mega Cock Taint.
Oh!
Jeez! Well, in the classic method of epic rap battles of history, chat, you decide who won.
Did this go down in Philly or Detroit? Because I feel like we had 8 Mile up in this.
I would like to point out.
So,
Spaghetti. Where's the mouse spaghetti?
chat, you want to take a poll and tell us who won? Was it my one verse against all four of those epic ones, or all four of those epic ones that were all clearly better than one.
Oh, I'm glad I'm getting this is like a group project, and I'm the person that didn't do the homework.
I love that we had a mega cock through line through all of them.
Mega cock
It's just such a fun thing.
cannot be
It's really
ignored.
easy to rhyme with.
Mega cock.
Here we go. The poll is open. Your choices are mega cock, or British.
They just wanted to say Metacock 4 times.
I just want to thank you to everybody because I'm gonna get an A on this project, and I didn't do shit.
You don't need to study, baby. You're on scholarship.
Woo! Yeah. I'm on the soccer team. I'm real good. They just threw me in with the smart kids, so they knew I'd get a good grade. Oh my gosh,
Bryce's was so long. I was trying to figure out when he had time to actually write it down.
It's in my blood.
Like,
I wrote it twice.
I don't buy that. I'm sorry.
I wrote it twice because I had to transcribe it so I could make sure I wasn't going to fuck up too bad.
oh my god,
I've got my notes are in like
Yeah.
pages.
this was it. I wrote JP, May, and Robert so that I would make sure to remember to say all your names, and that's as far as I got.
My first line was, "What the fuck am I going to do?" So
I can tell you, I wrote down rhymes. So I've got fuck it, snuff it, bucket, shove it, pocket, rocket. Didn't get to rocket boots. I was going to try. Pyre, fire, obviously aspire, tire. Yeah, and then I got into faint because you said faint, ain't, and then taint was just had to.
all right, the poll is closing,
I
guys.
love-
We're gonna have the final results now. Of course, I've been watching them vote, so I already have a good idea of how this poll is going to go. But here we go.
It's
The
gonna be
results.
you, isn't it?
The results are Megacock with 7 votes and the British with 1. So by landslide victory, somehow, in some way, this epic conflict between the Greycoats and the Legion of Liberty in front of Independence Hall is settled by an epic rap battle of history as opposed to direct conflict. And somehow
None of us
everyone
are writing the next Hamilton.
Everyone just accepts it. They accept it. They accept that this is how the battle is done. And at the end of it, the British hold up their white flags. And as a result of this, let's go ahead and start talking about aftermath. Defeated, the Galvanic Collective has been forced to withdraw from this dimension. And that leaves, of course, things shifting very rapidly back to...
But they're such good rappers.
That leaves things shifting back to the colony's war for independence, leaning once more heavily in the colonists' favor. And by the winter, they should be a free country, right on schedule. So skipping forward in time, 2 whole weeks later, our pilots have left the bodies of their avatars to return to the Reliance, meeting them in a small clearing far away from towns and civilizations to pick up the lost Reese and not leave him trapped in this dimension. And also to share an incredible rare moment, at least according to John Stone, as avatars and pilots almost never get the opportunity to meet in person. And there you are, standing right before the people that you just spent almost an entire week sharing a body with, sharing experiences with, defending the founding of a nation with, and stopping a plan to completely destroy their planet.
Okay. So I get to meet Jean-Pierre?
Yes.
I steal his watch.
The feeling is, of course, mutual as the two of you embrace and you steal Jean-Pierre's watch. He steals one of your knives.
Beautiful.
Aww.
I like it.
Thieves. I think Rhonda runs up and gives Prudence like an uncomfortably tight hug. And it's just like, oh my gosh,
And then
hi!
take a deep breath in and smell her for the first time.
Wow, that is, when you are on the outside of it, it is much more pungent. I did not realize and wish I would have showered more. But it's so nice to meet you. This is wonderful, but shower. Okay, I love you. Thank you.
When you embrace Prudence, it's one of those really awkward hugs at first, where she kind of just squirms like it's the last place she wants to be. But then by the time you're about to let go, you get like this half-hearted, yeah, pat on the back, good game kind of hug.
Well,
Learn to
Rhonda
let go
knows
sometimes.
about herself now.
Hey, we're opening all sorts of doors.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it's just like a tender embrace, and then just a definite like Rhonda steps back, kind of wipes, just kind of okay, it's fine, everything's great. Okay, just anytime if you want to, I don't know, call. I guess you can't, but like, take care of the squirrels for me, okay? Take care of the squirrels.
Beautiful.
And then steps back.
So I think, so Margaret goes to Princess Hedgehog and is like, so you were inside me? Is that what I'm supposed to take away from this? Is this green-haired little thing. You were inside me and I'm supposed to be happy about that. And Princess Hedgehog goes, oh my god, your firepower is so cool! That is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life! Margaret May is like, yeah, I suppose you probably also have some powers then, I guess. We didn't really see them, but I'm sure you're also a good magic user, yeah. Yeah, and then Princess Hedgehog's going to be like, you leave my magic out of this! I am the best magic user! And they get into a little bit of an arrogance fight.
Oh, the yelling and shouting of the two is, it's pretty loud in the clearing as they trade back and forth. And the much quieter meeting between Robert Franklin Smith and Vector Rains.
So we go up and it's like fist bump and then handshake. Like, we're fucking awesome.
Do you do the handshake that pulls into a hug?
Yeah,
With
the 1, 2, 3. Ugh.
Yeah.
All right, so listen, Robert, I'm sorry we got blown up. That was an accident. I thought we could take it, and you know what? We did. That's what being
That's
a true
on me,
hero
bro.
is. We knew we could rely on our friends and team, and you should continue to hang out with maybe not them, but some other people. Get yourself a posse. Get yourself a crew. You need a crew.
Oh, we just got rated at the end of our stream. Welcome, RPGs Anonymous. You're getting the very, very end of the season finale of The Reliables. You missed some really great stuff, unfortunately.
We won with a rap battle. That's all you need to know.
Yep.
So, go back and maybe watch it again.
Yep, they just ended with a rap battle. But we're going to have some important things to cover here. First and foremost, as you load Reese up into the Reliance, both Paul and John Stone have figured out the dimension where the Galvanic Collective is going to strike next, and we're going to see that next season. Oh, yes. And that's going to be the end of The Reliables, but I've got some important housekeeping to go over. All right, guys, next week is going to be a week off. There will be no Reliables this coming Monday, but the Monday after it, we start Season 2. Brand new dimensions, brand new avatars, more crazy antics. And hey, as far as that stuff goes, I have the results
Thank you.
Yes!
Yes,
Give
I
me the
do.
news.
Must
They
know.
have voted. Chat has spoken, Twitter has spoken, and Discord has spoken. In last place with 23 votes was East Texas University. So we're not going to be going there next season.
Okay,
No,
mine's
that's
still on the
okay.
board.
In second place with 25 votes in a very close matchup is Deadlands Noir.
Oh!
Nearly a winner. Not going to be
wait.
where we're going to visit in next season's setting. But the winner with 28 votes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to visit in the second season, Flash Gordon. Yes, the Savage World setting of Flash Gordon will make an appearance next season for not one, not two, but 3 episodes that will also involve avatars. That's right. Lots of pilot and avatar action coming next season, along with some new store items. The ability to vote on even another setting for season 3. That's right. And so many other great ways that you can interact with the show and with our cast, from Discord to Twitter to the Fantasy Network and everywhere else. I want to thank every one of you for joining and watching us today. Thank you all for supporting us on this show and letting us bring this ridiculousness and fun to you. I'm not even mad about the rap battle anymore.
It's so good.
But yeah, thank you guys
That's
so
That
very
was
much.
amazing. Thank you guys. That hack
That was
attack
so
is
good.
like
Yeah.
that's what it's all about.
Stay focused on the Twitter and in the Discord of the Reliables, and we will be releasing little hints about the places that we will be visiting next season, because Flash Gordon isn't the only setting we're going to next season.
Dun dun dun.
Oh, that's right. Thank you so much, guys. We love you all. Enjoy your week off. Make sure that you check out all the great other programming on the Fantasy Network and on the Zoe channel here on Twitch. And also check out everybody's Twitter. Follow all the great projects they work on. So many of the people involved in all of our shows here work on so many great and other projects. And with things starting to open up, you'll get to see them in even more things as we as a nation move forward from this terrible pandemic crisis. We love you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Good night.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Well, our name is Reliable.